welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric, and welcome to me testing out a new configuration in my little spinning room. So in previous episodes I have mentioned about how we have done up this small bedroom in our home for me to have a place to record these videos and also a place for me to retreat when the outside world just gets a little bit too much for me. Over the last year, we have repainted the walls, rearranged the furniture, brought in new furniture, and just this week we installed a small TV on a wall mount so that above the camera I can watch TV while I'm spinning. It also helps if anyone in the family is under the weather and we just need to curl up with a blanket. We can do that in this room as well. Since the rest of our house, we have some recliners to watch TV with, but we haven't gone into having a couch in this house. It just doesn't seem to fit or work for our needs. So my little room is my little retreat, but it also can double as a sick room if we need so, and as I'm sure you're all aware, the times we live in may actually make that necessary. So I'm going to be trying to do some spinning while recording and then figuring out how to edit so that maybe you can see me spinning, but you know, in essence a little reminiscent of how I first started out my videos the first year. So I hope you enjoy some spinning. I'm still working on, I have the basket. I'm still working on, I see, whoops, camera. Okay. Still working on some of the 2 pounds of roving that I showed on my January 7th video. And that's just what I'm spinning. So I suspect that's going to be the bulk of my next video. So if you're watching this, then obviously I figured out how to make this new situation, new setup work. I'm just going to go ahead and start spinning and we'll see where this gets us. So, I just realized I have forgotten to bring, there we go, a bowl to put all of my little neps and noils in. And you might notice my wheel wanders just a little bit. That's not uncommon. I do have some grippers underneath it. But on this floor, it tends to slide even with the grippers. But I think I have enough video for right now, and we will see. I may bring in another camera so that we can do some close-ups of my hands. But this was a nice test, so we'll see if we end up using some of this footage in the upcoming video. So, I think I have another camera set up. I'm going to play around a little bit with positioning, and we will see if we have some other footage that we can get. I think, though, so if you see me moving stuff around, that's what I'm doing. So I am just randomly grabbing fluff. Sometimes if it is in a big pile, I may put some of it back. I'm just randomly, for the most part, grabbing different piles of fluff. I don't intend to have a fully striping. That was not the intent. I'm just trying to blend my three predominant colors in a way that I think will be pleasing once it's applied. It's just supposed to break up the individual colors a little bit. It'll be fun. I can't wait to see how it actually turns out, and I'll probably fill a couple bobbins and then ply and show the results before I dig into the rest of the 2 pounds. I may even take the bobbin here that's almost full. I may actually just do a center pull ball. I'm not quite sure. I have some time, so I may very well simply fill this bobbin, fill a second bobbin, and ply them together, because I think, while this is going to be, I think this is going to be a bit of a fingering to sport weight. Depending on how distracted I am when I'm actually talking to the camera, I'm getting somewhere between a fingering and sport weight when it is a 2-ply. So that's probably going to be what I want to work with. I want a bit smaller gauge sweater for my daughter than what I've made in the past for her. Similar in gauge, I think, to the sweater I made for my son, the wonderful hooded one that he has. That's kind of my goal. Something that I can still knit up pretty quickly, but something that is a little finer gauge than my really nice chunky sweaters that I made a few years ago. So I'm going to continue spinning and continue watching TV, and if you see me messing around with remotes and mice and cameras, well, that's me just practicing and seeing how this experiment in camera work as well as spinning goes. We'll probably talk to you again in a few moments. Well, it looks like I have a pretty full bobbin. It is not over full. It is just about to the edge. And that's actually a really good place for me to stop and change bobbins. So I will probably stop recording for now and probably pick up recording again when I'm ready to ply. So we'll see you at that point of this spin. There we have the end and his royalness here. This is tamed, his backside closer to the camera. But he stayed put. And now I have to disturb him because I need to go get a Niddy Noddy and yes, purr. And get this wrapped up so that we can get it washed and set. Oh, here. Meow. Oh, yes. You gonna say hi to the camera? There, say hi. Look right at the camera. Yes, right at the camera. No, not up at the TV. Right at the camera. Okay. I don't always use my Niddy Noddy when I have this large of a skein that I'm winding off. I decided to go ahead and use it this time because I want the longer hank of yarn so I can see the color better. I have a wonderful Swift, kind of like one of the old weasels that my husband has configured for me that has a handle, and so I can wind it on, wind it onto that. But it doesn't have quite a full two yards of distance for one wrap. So I've decided I was going to go ahead and I would go ahead and use the Niddy Noddy today, even though it will take me just a little bit longer to do this. Not very often do I luck out and have the ends meet, but in this case it definitely worked in my favor, and I can just do a quick knot. I will take the time and secure this in a few more places before I take it off and go put it in some water and set it. But I'm very pleased so far with the gauge and the color. So let's go see how this sets. I managed to get it done in time for the video, the end of the video. It's been washed, the twist is set, it's dried, it's ready to start knitting if that's what I decided to do with it. I am pretty pleased with the overall color of it. It ended up being about 360 yards. It's just under 5 ounces of merino wool. It could be a little more consistent, and it could be a little bit more evenly plied, but time constraints and a cat both conspired against an even ply. I'm not quite sure what happened between the first bobbin and the second bobbin. I must have gone thinner because I have a lot left. So it is an example of some of the things that can happen when you hand spin. However, I must admit, while it may not be exactly what I was hoping for, it will be perfectly fine in the sweater project I have planned for it. A basic 2-ply going into a vanilla sweater, where the only new challenge for me in this top-down raglan I have planned is that I plan on doing some short rows at the neck, back of the neck, in order to make it a little longer in the back. Otherwise, it's very simple sweater that I'm planning to do with this, and this yarn will work really well. It may not knit up as fast as a thicker a sport or DK weight would, but it will still knit up, and it will be, I'm sure, really beautiful when it's done. So it accomplished the goal. It did make me think that I might be pulling out the blending board or the drum carder and blending some of the fibers together, the colors together, because there wasn't a lot of color difference between the pecan and the walnut when it came time to actually spin it. Of course, the lighter lichen dyed it definitely does have contrast. I think it will be very pretty regardless of which way I go. I may do this as an accent to go along with a blended fiber. But that's the fun thing about hand spinning. You get what you get, and you can have fun with it. And there's no real right or wrong. As long as it's structurally sound, you can use it. And knitting, especially knitting in a vanilla pattern, a basic, simple pattern, whether it's socks or whether it's sweaters, a knitted item is really, really friendly, very kind to your hand-spun yarns. I find that if there's a lot of thick and thin, crochet can be very kind to your hand-spun yarns. But it's going to work really well. And so I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share the end result. I appreciate those of you that have stuck with me to the end of this video. I hope you've found some inspiration and some joy, and maybe a little laughter as my cat joined me in my spinning. My studio, my spinning recording little area, is getting closer. As you can see, I have a curtain now. I'm planning to put some more butterflies and such on it. I have a little bit more tweaking to do to make it easier for me to open and close the curtains. But I'm very pleased, and that was the goal with this spinning project and this space, is to find a comfort in which I can spin, record some videos, come to you, and more importantly, spend time unwinding with fiber and fabric, especially in this case, spend time unwinding with my fiber in a place that gives me calm, that gives me joy, and it's a little refuge. It's a refuge from the Arctic blast that we're experiencing right now. It's a refuge from all the responsibilities that go with day-to-day living. And I'm glad I have an opportunity to share my little piece of calm with you. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying warm or cool, depending on what part of the world you live in. And I hope you're finding time to unwind with fiber and fabric and find joy in your day. Until the next video, and the surprise that we probably all will all have as to what the topic will be, I wish you the best, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.